Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the HTML, which is Hypertext Markup Language. We are using HTML to display the data in the web browser, and we are going to see how we can use the HTML, how we can create the web pages with the help of HTML, and then after we will see how we can design the web pages with the help of CSS. So let's start with the HTML first. So let me take this folder in the Visual Studio Code. So I'm just creating a page called exercise1.html and then the HTML. So HTML start with the doc type HTML. It means we are using the latest version of HTML, which is HTML5. Then the language. Then we are using the head tag. So I'm just keeping it blank right now, the head section. And then we are using the body section and then the HTML and. So this is the syntax of the HTML page. So HTML start with the HTML and end with the HTML. Head, head end, body start, body end. So this is our entire HTML page. Now in HTML, first we are using the H1. H1 we are using for the heading tag. So let's say I'm just writing this is header. Then we can use the H2 also, which is again the header. H3. So this is header 3, this is header 2, and this is header 1. Then we can use the H4 tag also. So this is header 4, H5, S6. So we are having the header tag from H1 to S6. Now I just want to run this into the browser. I can just go there and open this, and you can see we are getting this output. So we are having the heading tag from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and S6. Now we are having the paragraph tag also. So for the paragraph tag we can just use the paragraph. Let me write this is paragraph. So when we are writing the paragraph, you can see this is the paragraph we are getting here. Let me minimize this screen. Then if I want another paragraph, I can again create. This is my another paragraph. So it comes below. Again, if you want the next paragraph, you can write this is again my another paragraph. If you see, you can see everything is coming one by one. So this is how we are using the paragraph. Now without paragraph, if we are writing something here, like for example this, then this. So you can see everything is coming in one line only. So when we are using the paragraph, every lines is coming line by line. So instead of displaying in one line, whenever we use paragraph, everything is coming line by line. So heading we are having from H1 to S6, the paragraph we are using the P tag, and as per W3C who have created HTML, we need, whenever we are opening the tag, we need to close it. Then if you want a link, we can use the anchor tag. So anchor tag, and in the anchor tag we are writing the href. It means the hypertext reference. So let me write the Google here, and I just want to redirect this to the google.com, so I can write www.google.com, and when I'm running this, you can see there is a link is coming. When I'm clicking on this link, the google.com is going to be open. Okay, I put it 4 times W, so it's not opening. Let me go back, refresh it, and then you can see the google.com is open. So whenever you want to give a link, we can use the anchor tag. So anchor tag start, anchor tag end, and this is the text which we are displaying in the browser, and the href is basically the link. So when we are clicking on that link, it goes there. Then we are having a img also, which is the image tag. In the image, we just need to give the URL of the image. So let me take one image. Let's say I want this image only, so I can just click save image as. Let's say I'm just saving this image into the desktop. Taking this image in my HTML folder, and I'm renaming this image because the name is very big, so I'm just making it google.png, and here we can write google.png. And alt, when the image is not loading, we are getting the alt, so I'm just saying Google page. I'm refreshing this page, and you can see the Google is coming here. So this is how we are displaying the image in the browser. So I have just put this image in my local system, so I'm just giving the src google.png. Let's say if my image is in any another folder, so let's say I'm just creating a folder here which is images, and in this I'm putting this image. So here and if I'm trying to refresh it, you can see I'm getting the alt, which is Google page, but unfortunately I'm not getting the image because I have created a folder images and I have put in my Google image inside that folder. So I need to give the images folder also the path, and then when I'm refreshing it, you can see the image is coming. So guys, either we can have the image inside any folder, or we can directly give the image path if the image is there in the same location, or we can give the URL also. Like we can have any online image and then we can directly put the URL here. So let me go to any page, let's say Facebook, and I'm just clicking on the Facebook, and let's say I want this image, so I can just right click here and then inspect, just increasing the size. You can see there is a image is there, so I can open this, and then I can use this link also. So instead of that, okay, let me create a new new image. So images RC, and I can give this URL, and when I'm going to open it, you can see this image is also coming. So guys, we can have the URL also, we can put directly here like this, or we can take the image in our local system and then we can give the path. In both the ways it's working fine. Don't forget the and tag. So as I said, like as per W3C, whenever you are opening the tag, you need to close it. It's mandatory. So Worldwide Consortium who have created this, they are saying like we always need to use the lowercase also. It means even if you are using the uppercase, it means in case of anchor tag, if you write capital A, or even in case of paragraph capital P, capital H1, then also it will work. But we need to use the lowercase always as per the W3C guidelines. Now next is HTML attributes. So what is HTML attributes is it basically provides the extra additional information to the HTML. So mainly we are having four types: class, ID, style and title. But whenever we are using the name value pair, that is called the HTML attributes only. So whenever you write name is equal to value in your element, then it will become the HTML attributes. So for example, if you see my Google image, and let's say I just want to give the width and height, so I can just write width, and let's say width I am saying 100, and then height is equal to 100. So this width and height is also the HTML attribute. So whenever you give name is equal to value pair inside your element, even the SRC also, we can see SRC is a attributes only, and even the alt is also the attribute. So these are the HTML attributes because we are having the name is equal to value pair. So that is called the HTML attributes. In HTML, we are having some tags in which the and tag is not required. For example, if you see in the image tag, there is no and tag. We are not ending the image tag. So we are having very few tags in which the and tag is not required. But those are very few. So I will let you know which tag, in which tag the and tag is not required. But for the time being, whenever you are using the any tag, you need to close it. So there is some special tags is there in which the and is not required. For example, the image tag, the and tag is not required, but rest is required. Even we are having the HR tag also in which this is not required. That is called the horizontal line. So if you can see there is a line is coming, but I am not ending the HR tag. So you need to remember, but those are very few tags which I am going to cover in this training. So as of now we have seen only two, which is the image tag and the HR tag, in which the and tag is not required. Then the comment. So let's say I don't want to display this h1 to h6 in the browser, so I can just put into the comment. So this is the syntax. You just need to have this sign and then the exclamation mark dash dash, and then I don't want to display till h6 only, so I can again dash dash and greater than sign, and then it's commented. So if I'm going to run this into the browser, now you can see there is no heading is coming because I have commented it. Now why we are doing the comment? Because most of the time we are writing something in the HTML code, but we don't want to display in the browser. So we can just comment the code. So whenever we are commenting the code, we cannot see that code into the browser. So this is a paragraph, and if you see I have forget to end up p tag here, which is, it means this is a wrong tag. So whenever you open the tag, you need to close it. It means whenever I'm opening the paragraph tag, I need to close it. It's mandatory. Now let's say in this line number 20, 21 and 22, when I'm running this into the browser, I'm getting everything in the same line. Even I have given the line break in my code editor, but in the web browser I'm not getting the line break. So if you want to give a line break, you can use the br tag. So again in br also, the and tag is not required. You can just use the br like this, and then I want two line breaks or three line breaks, so I can I can write like this. If I want to give more breaks, again I can write it, and then you can see the line break is coming. And now the way we are writing into the editor, we are getting the same in the browser also. So br we are using for the break tag. Now we are having some other tags also, like the b tag also we are using for the bold. So if you are having a paragraph and you want to put something in bold, you can have the b tag. Then we can use this strong tag also. We are having the big tag also, then emphasized, then italic. So if you want to display something into the italic, we can have the I tag. If you want to display something into the small, we can have the small tag. So these are the some tags which we are using for the text formatting. So let me write it here. And when I'm running into the browser, you can see like that this is bold because this is bold, and then this is strong, this is big, this is emphasized, then this is the italic text, this is the small one. So now if you can see, we are getting the output like this. So if you want to display something in the italic, you can just use the I tag. If you want to display the bold, you can use the B tag. Even you can use the strong tag also. So in both the cases, you can see we are getting the text into the bold only. Or you can use the I for italic or emphasized. So these are the tags which normally we are using. And then if you see, we are getting this in the output. Again, if you want to give the horizontal line, you can just use the HR tag and we'll get the horizontal line. Now, pre-formatted text. This pre-formatted text is also very important. So let's say I'm writing something here like this, blah 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 blah. And now when I'm saving and running in the browser, you can see everything it coming into the same line, because as I said, whenever we are writing into the editor and when we are saving it and running into the browser, we are getting everything in the same line. Now let's say instead of doing like this, what we want is the way I am writing here, I want to display in the same way in the browser. So what we can use, then we are having a very good tag which is called pre-tag. So then what we can do is we can put everything inside the pre-tag, pre-formatted text. And when I'm running it, you can see the way I have written in this HTML, in the same way I am getting into the browser also. So we can use the pre-tag for that purpose. So pre we are using for the pre-formatted text. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to ask you one few questions to just check your understanding. So let me ask my first question. So my question is guys, HTML stands for, and you are having four options: hypertext markup language, high text markup language, hypertabular markup language, and none of this. So what do you think, which one is correct? I'm giving you a few seconds of time. You can just think about it. What is the HTML stands for? It means what is the full form of HTML? Option A is hypertext markup language, option B high text markup language, option C hypertabular markup language, and option D none of this. Yes guys, I think all are correct here. So the answer is A. So A is hypertext markup language. So hypertext markup language. So this is what the correct answer is. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay guys. So now moving forward. Now these are some other codes, like for example we are having the code tag, so which will display the code like the computer code. Then we are having the KBD which displays like the keyboard, the TT which is called telephone text, then the sample SAMP which looks like a sample text, and then the var which looks like a variable. So let me run this code also in the browser and then you can just see the output. And guys, if you can see here, this it seems like a computer code. This is like the keyboard input and the telephone text and the sample text and the computer variable. Now let's say I don't want to display all the code which I have done before. So what I can do is I can just use every code inside the comment, put every code inside the comment, and then you can see we are getting only this, which is computer code, the keyboard input, telephone text, and then this is a break, line break. So we can write the break like this, br then forward slash this, or even we can write the like this also. In both the situations it works in the same way, so there is no problem. Then SAMP, which is the sample text, then again giving the break line, and then the where, which gives us the computer variable. Moving forward guys, we are having an address tag also. So address tag look like the address. So if I'm just using the address tags in the browser, you can see it look like a address. So it means we are just using the address tag, and then in the address we are just giving the break, but it look like italic. So it means when you are using the address tag, automatically your text will look like a italic tag, and it seems like this in the browser. So this is called the address tag. Then we are having some abbreviation and acronym also, which is that, for example, this is the title. So let me show you. Let's say we are having a paragraph here, and I'm just writing this is a paragraph, and I like this para. Now what I want is, instead in this I want to show some title. So what we can do is we can just use the title tag here. So title start and title end, and then we can use this. When we are using this title, so now see we are having two different titles. If we are using this title, it will show here. So when I'm refreshing this, you can see this title comes here, but we don't want this title, because this title we are using the head section. It means we cannot use this title here. So I'm just removing this, and I'm just putting in my head section, because this title we are using in the head, and I'm saying this is page, or I'm just writing HTML page, HTML page, and then HTML page. Then you can see we are getting this HTML page here. Now we are having one another title also. So for example, here I want to use the title. So what I can do is I can write here p title, because this is the HTML attributes. So as I said earlier, HTML attributes we are using in name value pair. So I can write here this is title. Now what happens is, when I'm running this into the browser and when I'm hovering the mouse here, you can see the title is coming, which is this is title. So if you want to give such kind of title in which if user over the mouse on the particular text, then we can have the title like this. Then we are having this okay, acronym also. So acronym like this, and acronym www. So let me run this also. So it means we can use the acronym tag also, and then we can just put the title here. So when I'm running this, you can see when I'm hovering the mouse, I'm getting the World Wide Web, and we are having this dot 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 also coming into the browser, because we are using the acronym tag. So in the acronym tag, we can just use the title like this. So when we are hovering the mouse, you will get the title, and then just the paragraph. Then we are having a deleted and inserted text also. So we can just use the delete tag. So it will look like you have deleted something, and then we are using for the underscore. So let's say in the paragraph, if you want to show something is deleted, so you can just use the delete tag, del start and del end, and then for underscore you can have the underscore tag also. So if you run in the browser, you can see it's look like the overstrike. It means something is deleted, and then with the help of the u, which is we can see the underscore also. So like we can have the underline below the text. So this del and u, which is underscore, is the another tag introduced by HTML. So let me put this also into the comment because I'm just moving forward. So you can see we are not getting anything in the browser because I have commented the entire code. And if you want to format the entire page, you can just right click and format the code. You will get automatically the entire code is formatted. Now next is guys, we can have some styles also. So let's say I'm having a paragraph and I just want to give some style, so I can directly use the style tag as well. So this style is also the HTML attribute. It means I'm just creating a paragraph here, and then in this paragraph I'm just saying this is paragraph, and then I just want to give some style, so I can just write the style tag inside the P because it's a HTML attributes, and I want to give the style is border 1px solid that. So this is the syntax. So this border 1px solid is something which is related to the CSS, which I will explain you later on. But for the time being, you can just understand whenever we want to give the CSS into the paragraph, we can have the inline CSS and we can use the style attributes for that purpose. So this is also called the inline CSS because we are providing the CSS in the same line. And then if I'm running the same in the browser, you can see we are getting the border here. So this is how we can have the style in the same line. This is also called HTML attributes. Like here also I've written font family Vardhana color red. So basically I'm going to get the font family is Vardhana and the color is red. And then in this I have just written font family is Times and color green. So let me create another paragraph also. So I'm just creating this paragraph and writing this is another paragraph, and here also I want to give some other CSS, so I can write style, and here I'm using font family, so I just want to have the font family only, so I can write font dash family, font family, and then I just want the version, I don't want the entire, so this, and then I want the color is red, and then semicolon. Now when I'm running this in the browser, you can see we are getting this font is Vardhana and the color is red. So we can have the CSS like this, and this is called inline CSS. So this inline CSS we are going to discuss in the CSS, but for the time being you just need to remember like we can have the HTML attribute style and we can give the CSS directly inside the HTML element. We can have the background color also. So let's say I want to give the style background color to my entire body, so I can write here also again the style, and I want the background color, so background color, and let's say the background color is this one, Alice blue, and when I'm running this you can see the background color is changes. HTML link. So guys, the link we have already seen right now, like the Google link. Again I'm creating the link, and then http www.google.com, and here the Google will come. So when I'm refreshing here, you can see the Google is coming. When I'm clicking here, you can see the google.com is open. Now let's say I want to open this google.com in the new tab, because see when I'm clicking right now it's opening into the same tab, but I want to open into the new tab. So what we can do then, here we can write target is equal to underscore blank. So whenever we are writing target is equal to underscore blank, it open into the new tab. So now you can see here Google, and then it's open here. So when I'm running this Google, and then you can see it's opening into the new tab. Okay guys, so moving forward, So it means whenever you want to open the link into the new tab, we can write the target is equal to blank. So instead of opening into the same tab, it will open into the new tab. So maybe you have seen in most of the websites, like instead of opening the tab in the same tab, they are opening into the new tab. So we can just use the target is equal to blank and it will open into the new tab. Also, maybe you have seen like in most of the websites, we are getting content like a table of content, and when you click on any link, it moves in that position. So let me show you the example, then you will have a clear idea. So I'm just taking this code, and before that, okay, I want to comment this also because I don't want to display this. So I've just commented this and writing here. Now I'm just refreshing the page here, and you can see this is C also chapter 4. So what I have done is, let me take this into the new line. You can see here we are having the link here anchor tag in which we have written hash C4 is basically the link, and here we have written the name is C4. So what is going to be happening when I'm clicking it, you can see directly the chapter 4 is coming. I'm showing you again, when I'm clicking here, directly the chapter 4 is coming. So how? Because here we have written the link is hash C4. It means when I'm going to click on that, we are calling the C4. It means we need to mention the C4 somewhere, correct? So I have just mentioned the C4 here. It means when I'm clicking here in the C also chapter 4, the chapter 4 is open because this is the hash C4. When I'm clicking on it, the chapter 4 is open. So in most of the places, like guys, we are redirecting the user when they click on the link. So like in this condition, in this case, when we click on chapter 4, the chapter 4 comes. In the same way, we can have the link for chapter 5 also, chapter 6 also. So we can just use the links like this. It means it's not like we can only put the URL here. Like the previous example which I showed you, like the google.com and the other links. Instead of that, we can have the link like this also. So we can give the link for the content also. And then we can write like this. Then guys, we can open the email also. So it means I can just write the mail to someone at this and then this. So for example, I may have the link like this, and then when I'm clicking on that link, I'm saying mail to this person, and the subject is hello again. Now if you can see in the hello again, there is a percentile 20. Percentile 20 means the space. So when I'm going to run this into the browser, before that, let me comment this code also. You can see the sandmail is coming here. Now when I'm clicking on this, automatically my mailbox will open. Okay, and then you can see here, so someone at microsoft.com, and the subject is also added, which is hello again. So we can just write into the two, it automatically added guys because it's there in the link. So someone at microsoft.com, and we are getting the hello again. It means we can open the mailbox also. So we just need to write like this, mail to someone at microsoft.com, subject hello again. So when I've clicked on it, automatically my mailbox open, and in the to this email ID comes, and in the subject the hello again it comes. Okay, next is creating an image link. We can have the image with the links as well. So for example, let me create the image. So image in the src, I'm just giving my google.png which I have recently downloaded and running it into the browser. Image is not coming, so I think the images folder is there, not the image only. So you can see the image is coming. Images. Now what I want is, when I'm clicking on this Google, I want to open the google.com. So what we can do is, we can place this image inside the anchor tag. So it means I can have this anchor tag here, and then this image I can put here, and now I'm just running this, and you can see now the cursor changes. So when I'm clicking on this, and let me write the href also. So http google.com. When I'm refreshing, you can see the link. I'm clicking on it, and you can see the google.com is open. So guys, we can have the image also as a link. So when I'm clicking here, this links comes. So this is how we can open the link when we are clicking on the image. And then as I said, we can have this width also, we can give the height also, which I have already added in the previous example. So this is how we can use the image as a link. So this image work like a link. So when I'm clicking on it, now let's say I want to open this link. I want to open the link into the new tab. So what we can do is, as I said, we can write a target is equal to underscore blank. So target is equal to underscore blank. And when I'm refreshing it and clicking it here, you can see it's open into the new tab. Okay guys, so I'm again going to ask some few questions to check your understanding. So let me ask the next question. So which of the following tag is used to mark a beginning of paragraph? It means whenever we are using a paragraph, so which tag we need to use? First is option A is TD, option B is the BR tag, option C is P tag, and option D is TR tag. So which of the following tag we are using to open the paragraph? Option A TD, option B BR, option C P tag, option D TR tag. So guys, just take your time and think about it. And the correct answer is answer C, which is the P tag. So as I said, whenever we want to have the paragraph, we are writing the P tag. So the P open like this and the P close. Okay guys, so now that's it for today. So now in the next session, we are going to see the HTML table and HTML form. Thank you. So today we are going to discuss about the HTML table. Okay, so let me create a page, HTML page. So I'm just creating a page called table.html. And in this table.html, the HTML tag, the prerequisite tags like the HTML start with the doc type HTML, it means HTML5, then HTML start, HTML end, body start, body end, head start, head end, and then this is the meta keywords, and this is just a title. So for the time being, I'm just removing the meta keyword which is not required, and in the title I'm just writing table. Okay guys, so first of all, we are using HTML table to display the data in the browser in the tabular format. So let's say this is the table and which contain the employee information, employee ID, name, department, hire date and training. And if you want to display this into the browser, you can create a table and then you can define the row and column, and then you can display this table in the browser. So to create the table, first we need to use the table tag. So table start and table end, and then each table is having the row. So for example, this is my first row, and in the row we are creating the column. So for column we are using the TD. So let's say what I'm doing here is, in this table, how many columns is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 columns. And how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So total 10 rows and 5 columns. So let's say I just want to display the employee ID and name. So I just want to display employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4 and name Johns and 2, 3, 4, 5 Smith. So I just want to display this information. Then how many columns I require? 2 columns. Employee ID name, and how many rows? 3 rows. Employee ID name 1, 2, 3, 4 Johns, 2, 3, 4, 5 Smith. So let me create this. So it means we need 2 columns in each row. So 3 rows. So for row we are using 3 TR. So my first row, but in each row how many columns we require? 2. So for columns we are using the TD. So this like this, and then I want 3 rows, so I can just copy this and paste it below like this, and then we can format our code also. So format document. Now I want to display the employee ID and name. So here I can write emp ID, and then this is name, and my employee ID is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can write 1, 2, 3, 4, and the name is Johns. So J Johns, and then the other is 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Smith. So S Smith. So guys, I have just created a table in which I am having 3 rows, and for row we are using the TR, and for column we are using the TD. So I have created how many rows? I have created 3 rows, and in each row I have created 2 columns. And I'm just going to run this in the browser. So this is my HTML page. I can just double click and you can see we are having this table which contain the ID and name, which is 1, 2, 3 for John Smith. But right now it's the border is not there, so we can add the border as well. So let me add the border here. So I can just write border, and let's say the border is 1, and then if I'm refreshing you can see the border here, and if I want 0 I can just write the 0 there. So the border is 0, but the border 0 is nothing actually, so I'm just using this 1, and you can see we are getting the border which is 1. Now if you can see there is a cell spacing also, so I just want the cell spacing is 0. So spacing 0, and you can see the space is gone now. If you want to increase the padding, you can write cells padding, cell padding, and cell padding I want 1, 10 let's say. So you can see the padding is increases. So the 10 is too much actually, let's make it 5. So this is, so guys, this is called cells padding. So cell spacing, it means space between the cells is called cell spacing, and cells padding is the padding between the cells. So this is called padding and this is called spacing. Okay, and the border is the corner. This one is the border. Now let's say I want one more row here, and in which I just want to display the employee information. I just want to write it.
So what I can do here is I can have one more row like this, format the document, and then I want only one, so I can write employee information, and when I'm refreshing this, you can see we are getting the employee information. But what I want is I want to merge this two columns. So this two TD I want to merge with only one. So whenever you want to merge two TD, we can use the call span. So what I can do is inside this TD, I can write call span 2. So when I'm writing the call span 2, you can see this column is merged. So this column is merged and now we are getting this employee information in this way. In the same way, we can merge the row also. So whenever you want to merge the row, we can use the row span. So row span we are using to merge the rows, and call span we are using to merge the columns. So right now we are merging the column. In the same way, if you want to merge the row, you can have the row span. So going into the document, so we have done this, like how we can create the table with border 1. This is also done. This is also call span also we have seen to merge the columns. Border padding also we have seen. Cell spacing also we have seen. Cell spacing, cells padding. Okay, let's take an example of this row span also. So I'm just taking this example, creating a new page, or I'm just creating on the same one only instead of creating new. So we may have multiple tables in the same HTML page. So now you can see I'm having one table which contains the first name Bill Gates, and then first name one column, Bill Gates second column, and then inside the next row I'm just using the telephone, and then this is the telephone number. But what I have done is I have written th is call span 2. It means I want to merge two rows, and in this last one you can see I have added only one telephone. Why? Because here I have used the 2. So this row is going to get merged. So in the next row I do not need to write the new TD. Means I do not need to write 2 TD. I need to write only 1 TD. So when I'm refreshing it, you can see here the telephone, we have merged this row and this row. So this two row we have merged with row span 2. So we have just added the telephone here. So the row span is 2 in the telephone, and then because I have written the row span 2, it have taken this also, the below one also, and that's the reason in the below one we have just added one telephone, which was this. So this is how, guys, we are using the row span. Okay, so now I'm just want to give you an assignment here. So you guys need to create this table which you can see in front of you, which contain the employee ID, name, department, hire, and date and training. And as I said, it require 5 columns and 10 rows. Okay, guys, so now moving forward, so we have completed the table. Now next is HTML list. So HTML list we are using to display the data basically into the list manner. So maybe in the Word document you have seen like we are using the ULLI. So either we are using the bulleted, bullet or number. In the same way we can use this in HTML. So for unordered list we are using the UL, and for order list we are using the OL. So let me show you the unordered list. So I am just creating a new page. I'm just creating a new page called list.html, and again the HTML syntax. In this I want to create a order list, so OL, and in the OL we can use the LI. So LI, then again one LI, then again one LI, then the next LI, and then we can have here like apple, banana, orange. Let's keep it 3 only. So this apple, banana, and orange. And now I'm just going to run this in the browser. So you can see we are getting the 1, 2, 3 number because we have used the LI. So whenever we are using the LI, we are getting the list like this, and because we have used the OL, so we are getting into the order list, so we are getting the number. And instead of that, if I am just using, instead of OL, if I am saying UL, which means unordered list, and you can see the bullet comes. So either we can use the UL, which is unordered list, and OL, which is order list. So last example we have used the OL, so we are getting the number, and when we are using UL, we are getting the bullet. So let me show you both. So whenever you write the code, guys, make sure you will format it so that it looks good. And then this UL, and I am just refreshing my page, and you can see this is my order list and this is my unordered list. Next is definition list. So guys, definition list is also we are using in place of the order list and order list. So many developers is using the definition list also. So for example, I have written h4 tag, then DL means definition list, DT means definition term, DD means definition data. So we are having a list in which we just want to have the term which is coffee, and then in the DD we want to display the black hot, and then DD milk. So I'm just going to run this in the list only. I'm going to use it. So this is what my list is, and I'm just going to refresh this. So you can see we are getting the coffee, and then in the coffee we are having the black hot coffee, and then we are having the milk, in which we are having the white cold drink. So basically what happens is this is nothing but this coffee is the DT, which is definition term, and this definition term is having the DD, which is this, and again we are having the next milk and the entire DL like this. So it means this DL definition list is having this DT coffee, and then this DD, and then this milk, and then this DT. So you can see we are getting the definition term. Even you can inspect also from here, and then you can see. So this is DT, then DD, DT, DD. So DT means definition term, DD means definition data, definition term, definition data. So this is how, guys, we are using the definition list. And also we can have the nested list also. It means one list contain another list. So maybe like you can see here, we are having an unordered list in which we are having the coffee and tea, and then we are having the list which is black list, black tea, green tea, and then this. So we can have the nested as well. It means one UL can contain another one. So that is called nested one. So let me format this. Let me format this much only. Okay. So you can see here like we are having the H4 UL, and in UL we are having 3 list coffee, tea, and then we are having in again we are having one UL, and which contain the black tea and green tea, and then we are having the LI, and then this is the milk. So we can have the nested as well. So if you are going to run this into the browser, you can see like this black tea and green tea is coming inside the tea. So like the way we are creating the nested list in the Word document, here also we can do the same thing. So we can have this list which contain again one list inside it. So guys, this is how we are creating the nested list. Okay, so next topic is the HTML forms and input, and this we are going to discuss in the next session. Okay guys, thank you. Hello friends. So now today we are going to discuss about the HTML form. So HTML form basically we are using in most of the places. So you may have seen the form in the different websites for the login purpose or the for the registration purpose. So most of the time we are taking the input from the users with the help of HTML forms. So we are using forms basically to take the input from the users from the browser, and we are having various HTML form elements which we are using in the HTML. So now we are going to discuss the HTML forms one by one. So first is I'm just creating a HTML page. So form.html, this should be outside. Now in the form.html, just the HTML tag. So form start with the form tag. So we need to write the form and then form and then in the form we are mentioning the action also. So it means when someone is submitting the form, where you want to redirect it. So I've just written action is blank right now because I don't want to do any redirection right now. I don't want to send any information to the server. So I've just kept it blank. And then first I'm going to use the input, and in this input I am saying input type text. So I just want a text box. So let's say I'm just creating a login page right now. So enter username, and then I'm creating enter password. Again the input type text. Okay, the password is input type password, and then I'm just want to create a button. So input submit, and this is login. Now I'm just going to run this page in the browser, and you can see we are having the login page which contains the username and password. So we just need to enter the username and password, and then there is a login button. So if someone is going to click on login, so we can just implement the login. Okay, now so if you see the code, I have just written the form and the action is blank. So because when I'm clicking on submit, so let me click on the login. So you can see we are calling the same page because the action is blank. Let's say I want to redirect user to the welcome page. So I can just write the welcome.html here, and then I can add a new page, welcome.html, and here we can have one header, login is successful. So I'm just refreshing the page and then just clicking on login, welcome.html. Okay, I just write it the welcome, the E is missing here. So let me write the correct welcome.html. Going back, refreshing, and then login. You can see we are getting the login is successful. So guys, action basically we are using so that when we are clicking on login or submit, we are displaying the, we are just sending the data to the server. So action like when, if you are going to take an example of Facebook, so Facebook basically store all the username and password in the database, and so in the action, and Facebook is created in PHP. So let's say if they are having check login.php, And in the check login.php, they are just taking the username and password from the user. And then in check login.php, they will just check whether the username and password is there in the database or not. So that code will go into the check login.php because HTML is a client side, so we cannot interact with the database. So we need a server side programming language. So Facebook uses PHP in server side. So at that time we can use the action. But right now, as we are not checking whether the username and password is correct or not, so we do not require this. So okay, next is, if you can see here, the input type text, the name, we can have the name also. So this should contain the name as well. So I can write, let's say the name is username, and then we can define the size also. So like for example, the size is 40, so size, and in the size I am just saying 40. Maximum length also we can give. Size is 40 means basically the size. So if I'm going to run this, you can see the size increases. And then if I am doing maximum length, max length, and I'm saying max length is 20, and then just saving. So what we can do is, like when I'm going to refresh this page, you can see I cannot enter more than 20. Why? Because my maximum length is 20. So when we define the maximum length, we cannot enter the data more than that. So that's why we are using the maximum length. And value is the default value. So if I'm going here, and then if I'm saying value is Harsh, so you can see the value is coming in the browser. So basically, like value is, you can see here. So if you want a default value, you can put here. So let me resize the screen so that we can see both things parallel. Okay. Okay guys, so this is what we are using the value now. But what happens is, when I'm clicking here, the value is not gone basically. So you need to delete it. So in most of the places, maybe you have seen, like when we're clicking on the text here, this automatically gone. So what they are doing is, they are using the placeholder. So the value is not required actually, because the value we are going to enter. So I'm just removing it and then just adding the placeholder and enter username. So you can see here, we are getting the enter username here. When I'm clicking here, when I'm writing something, typing something, it automatically gone. So that's why we are using the placeholder. So placeholder basically, it's just indicating user, like what we need to enter here. So in this case, we need to enter the username and password, and that's the reason we are using the placeholder. So in this example, we can see, like I have just added the input type text because I want a text button. The name is name. Name we cannot see in the browser basically, because this we are using when we are sending the data from the client to the server. It means if we are having, let's say, server side PHP, and if you want the data into the PHP, then we are using the name. So in PHP, they are going to receive the name and the value. So value is joy blocks, for example. So name is equal to joy blocks. So PHP will receive the name and value. But right now we are not using any PHP, any server side language, so we do not need the name actually. And then the maximum length is the size, the maximum length which you can enter inside it. The size is the size of the name, and the value is the default value. And then we have seen the placeholder also. In the same way, we can have the input type password as well. So like here we have done the password as well. But in case we are just writing the type is password. So what happens is, if you write a type password, and if you type something, you can see the circle is here. So basically, you cannot see what we are typing. It is because it is the input type password, because the password is something which is very important, and obviously we do not want to display to anyone even when you are typing the password. That's the reason we have just write the input type password, so that no one can see the password. Then we can have the checkbox also. So we can write input type checkbox, and then the check means it will be automatically checked the name and the value. So let me create the checkbox. So input checkbox, and then let's say I want a checkbox for education. So I can write input type checkbox for education. So this is the first checkbox. In the same way, I can have multiple checkbox. So if I am running this, you can see education, but we are not getting any option here. So we can add it. So for example, whether it is BE or MBA or BSc or MCA. So you can see either what is your qualification, BE or MBA or BSc or MCA, and then we can choose the default one also. So let's say I want for MBA, I want to by default check the MBA. So what we can do is in the MBA we can just write checked. So if you are writing the checked here, and when I'm refreshing it, you can see by default the BSc is checked. I have checked the BSc. No, sorry, the MBA is checked only. What is your education? So either it could be BE, MBA, BSc and MCA. So I have just make the default which is MBA. So we are, you can see in front of MBA it's checked. Okay guys, so now in the same way we are having the radio button also. So we can have the radio button as well. So input and then radio. So let's say I'm just writing gender, and this is my radio button. Again having one radio button, and here I am saying male and then female, and then when I'm refreshing you can see the gender which is male or female. Right now I can choose both male and female. Why? Because I haven't give the name actually. So let me give the name, same name. So let's say it is gender, so I'm just saying name is gender. Now when I'm giving the name, and now you can see I can choose only one. So either it could be the male or female. So in most of the places we are using the radio button as well. So checkbox we are using if you want to have check multiple items. So in case of qualification, maybe someone can do the MBA also, MBA also, BE also, BSc also. While in case of gender, there could be only one option, either it would be the male or female. So if you want to select only one value, then we can use the radio button, and if you want a user to select the multiple values, we can use the checkbox. So this is what the basic difference between radio button and checkbox is. So if you can see this example, I've just tried it, age is less than 20, then there is a radio button. If it is between 21 to 30, then this. If it is 31 to 40, then this. So we are just having the radio button like this. So we have just added the conditions. Guys, in the same way we can have the input type file also. So file we are using to browse something. So I can just write the input type file. So input type file, name and ID. I don't want to give any name and ID, so I'm just keeping it blank. You can see here we are getting the option to choose the file. So whenever you are writing input type file, you are getting this option. So you can choose the file as well. So you can just go and then you can choose it from here. So we just need to use the input type file and you will get this option. Again, we can give the size also. We can give the name also, like we did earlier for username as well. So we can just define the name and size in this as well. Now guys, we are having the one more field which is called hidden. So we can use the input type hidden also. So why we are using hidden? Basically, if you want to store some sensitive information into the browser, but you do not want to display to the user. So if you do not want to display to the user, we can use the input type hidden. So hidden means we are not displaying this information to the user, but it's still there. It is there in the browser. So now maybe there is one question which is coming in your mind. If it is uh, hidden, then why we are using it? Because as I said, we want to store the critical information and we do not want to display to the um, end user. That's the reason we are using the input type hidden. Okay guys, so this is why we are using the input type hidden. So let me show you. So input hidden, and now you can see there is nothing in the browser to show. Why? Because hidden you cannot see. But if I am just inspecting the element, you can see here the hidden is there, but you cannot see the hidden because most of the time in the hidden we are keeping some secret data. So let's say if I just want to pass the random value here, and when I'm refreshing it, you cannot see, but it's still there in the browser. So most of the time, whenever you want to send the data to the server, any additional hidden secret value, so we can use this input type hidden. So user cannot see the input type hidden, but still it's there in the code only. Okay guys, so now next is input type submit. So if you can see here in our login page, we are already using the input type submit and the value is login. So you can see the login button which is input type submit. In the same way we can have the reset also. So even we can use the reset as well. So let me take this. Instead of here I'm just writing here, and then instead of login I'm saying submit, because now we are having various fields. Input type reset, and obviously the value is reset. Now when I'm refreshing this in the browser, you can see the submit and reset. So let's say if I'm typing something here, and here also, this also, and when I'm clicking on reset, you can see the entire form is resetted, in it come into the original position. So guys, we are using the reset also to reset the form. So whenever you want to reset the form, you can use the input type reset. So reset basically we are using to reset the data. So to reset all the form values, we are using the reset. In the same way guys, we can have the input type image also. So if you want to display the image in the input, you can write the input type image. Then again you can write the name, and then you can, in the src, you can give the image path. So for example, the submit.gif is a image, and then we can have the width and the height. So we can define the width and height as well. So if you can see the submit is a button in which the width is 70 and the height is 20. Okay guys, now we can have the drop down as well. So if you can see this, to create the drop down we are just using the select and the option. So in the select we are just putting the options. So you can see in this state we are having a drop down called state territory, and in which we are having the multiple states. So we are just having the multiple states territory, and we are just using the options inside it. So in the option you can see various options is there. So this is how we are using the drop down. So maybe you have seen this in most of the browsers, like you are getting an option to choose the state or territory or any other drop down menu. So you can see here we are just using the select and the option, and in the option we are having various options. So let me create a drop down for you. So what we can do here is we can have the select, and then in the select we can have the option. So let's say I want only 4 option. So I'm writing here choose city, and the first city is Mumbai, then another city is Delhi, then next city is Chennai, and then last is Ahmedabad. And I'm just going to refresh it, and you can see we are getting choose city, and this is the drop down. So whenever you want to have the drop down like this, you can just use the select and option. So in the option we can have the multiple options, and then we can pass these options inside the city, and we can say this drop down. Now let's say guys, if you want to have the drop down in which you want to select multiple values, so it means you want a multi-select drop down. So whenever you want a multi-select drop down, you can create the same drop down, but you can just use the multiple inside it. It means if in my drop down, if I am using the multiple, then I can choose the multiple fields inside it. So let me go here, and for example this is my select, and I'm just writing the multiple here. Now you can see here, so we can choose the multiple as well, and then I can have the size as well. So I'm just want to give the size, I just want to give the size is 2. So you can see we are getting only 2, then the scroll bar comes. So we can define the size as well. So this is how we can have the drop down which contain the multiple values. So this is the select, and the name ID, if you want to give, you can give the name and ID. I don't want to give it, I've just kept it blank right now. And then we can have the value options inside it. So in the select I am having 4 options, which is Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai and Ahmedabad. And I have just written the multiple, so I can choose the multiple from the drop down. Now guys, next is text area. So maybe like in the in most of the websites you have seen like they are asking the feedbacks. So like just enter the feedback. So they are just using the text area there. So we can just use the text area start, and then we can give the name to the text area if you want to give. The name is not mandatory. The row column is basically the size of the text area, and then we can just add the text area, and then whatever you want to write inside it, you can just write it. So just, for example, I've just write it, enter your comment here, so you can see this text area. So let me write this for you. So text area, and here and when I'm running this, you can see this. So because the calls 30 and row is, so I'm just saying let's say 10. So you can see the size is reduced now, and the row is 10. So I am saying 50. Size is increased. Now guys, if you see my format look like this, like it's not in the correct manner, like anything is coming anywhere, like the username, password, then the checkbox, then the radio button, then the file, then the submit button, reset button, then the drop down, then the text area. It's not coming into the proper way, right? Because the alignment is not there, the layout is not proper. But if you see below here, you can see it's coming into the proper way. So guys, this is your assignment. So you just need to have this form is ready now. So what you need to do is you just need to use the HTML table like as I discussed earlier, and then you can just put this form inside the table. So if you place the form inside the table, it look like this. So how many columns you need, guys? You need 2 columns. And how many rows is required? So 1 row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth, 7, 8, 9 row. So total 9 TR you need to create, and in each TR there is 2 TD. It means in first TR 2 TD, and in first TD you can write the name, and in the second TD you can write the this. So I'm just showing you so that you are able to complete the entire assignment. So you can have first the table, then you can have the TR, and this you can have the TD. So I said 2 TD in each TR. So this, and I want the name, so you can just write the name here, and then here you can write the input text like this. And if you refresh it, you can see in this way. In the same way you can do for password also. So you can just copy this, and then instead of name you can write the password, and this is password. Let me format this code for you guys, and then just refreshing it, you can see the password also. So guys, this is how you need to create this so that it looks nice, because this form is, the layout is not good actually. So you can use the HTML table and make the look and feel good. Okay guys, so we have completed the HTML form here. So now I'm just going to ask you a few questions to check your knowledge. So guys, my question is correct HTML tag for the largest heading is. It means we are having various headings as we have already discussed. So if I want the largest heading, which tag I can use? Options is A, head tag, option B, S6, option C, heading, and option D, H1. I'm repeating the question again, guys. So your question is correct the HTML tag for the largest heading is. It means for largest heading, what we are using. First is head, second is S6, third is heading, and fourth is H1. So guys, I'm just giving you few seconds of time. You can think the answer. What would be the answer for this question? Correct guys. So the answer is H1. So as I said, we are having the tag from H1 to S6, and we are using H1 tag for the largest heading. Now guys, my next question is, as we have discussed the form, so this question is related to that only. So the attribute of the form tag, and the options is, so which is the attribute of the form tag? So first is method. It means we can have the method inside the form. The second option is action. It means we can have the action inside the form. The third option is both A and B. It means we can have the method also and the action also. And the D option is none of this. It means we can neither be this A, B, and C. So guys, it means when we are creating the form, which attribute we can use? A, B, C, D. So guys, just take your time and think about it. What would be the correct answer? Okay guys, so the correct answer is C, both A and B. It means when we are creating the form like we have created here, so we can have the action also and we can have the method also. So for example, I can have the method post. So I want to send the data to the server, so I can use the method post, or I can use the get also. So either we can use the post or get. So when we are using the post, what happens is let me show you. So when I'm clicking on submit, and you can see there is nothing in the URL. But when we are using the method get, and then if you are entering something and clicking on submit, you can see whatever the information you are passing into the server. It means like here the action is welcome.html. It means I'm passing the information to welcome.html. So whatever the information you are passing to the other page, you can see everything in the URL when we are using the method get. But when we are using the method post, we cannot see anything in the browser. So we cannot see whatever the data we are passing to the browser. Okay guys, so that's it in HTML form. So we have completed this HTML. Now in the next session we are going to move forward with the HTML5. Okay guys, thank you.